some absolutely ghastly footage of the most despicable lifestyles.
Oh, I'm sure that's something our viewers will most enjoy. But before we talk about that, Tiffany, please tell our viewers a little bit about our show this evening.
Tonight, we will intrude into people's lives and look at things that are none of our business. Merriweather will be interviewing a young lady who has a most interesting cause for notoriety.
Hello there. I'm Merriweather Cheesebottom, and I'm here with Miss Gertrude Schmittelman, one of the last 30-year-old virgins in the North American continent. Miss Schmittelman, how are you?
The same, always the same.
I imagine so. I just have a few questions for you. Miss Schmittelman, when did you first discover that you were a virgin?
Well, I was sitting on a bus listening to two, I suppose, sexually active women. They were talking about their experiences, and I realized that you can't lose your virginity sitting on public toilet seats.
That's true. A side comment, did you happen to get their phone numbers?
No, I'm sorry.
Never mind. Does this condition affect your relationships with normal, sexually healthy individuals?
Well, no. Some of my best friends are sexually active. Little
would you say?
sluts. I can't. I'm sorry, but.
Well,
So.
excuse me, but how do you spend your time while normal women are enjoying their lives?
Well, Saturday nights are the big nights for me. I watch Love Boat, and then I relax with some good, decent classical literature like, Lady Chatterley or Moby Dick.
Harold Robbins.
Harold Robbins, very good.
Always
Rosemary
one of my
Rogers.
favorites as well.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And what's next? What does the future hold for one of the last 30-year-old virgins in America?
Well, right now I'm trying to organize, I have organized, and we're trying to get more members in the new group called Celibates Helping Other Celibates Kick Sex, or COCKS.
I see. And I imagine the membership drive is coming along well, is it?
Yes, we have 3 virgins already, one from Minnesota and one from New York City.
I don't believe it.
Yes, the
And-
only virgin. In fact, he almost lost his virginity coming here, but we saved him.
What a close scrape that one must have been. Ladies and gentlemen, I
What
leave it to
accent?
you. The last American 30-year-old virgin.
Hi, Mom.
She was a tough cop with a great wardrobe. She could handle any criminal with cool confidence.
Oh, really? Wearing denim to a bank robbery? How tacky.
She could make fast decisions in the heat of action.
Excuse me, do you like the red or the fuchsia better? That's what I thought.
Nothing could intimidate her.
Give me that. Will you stop? You know this can get powder burns all over my dress, and even Moonlight won't take them out.
Lady Pink, Fridays at 9 o'clock on the IAS network.
Be there, and try to wear something a little less tacky.
What a truly dreadful existence.
Oh, quite so. Tiffany, aren't you glad you're not in her shoes?
The thought of it gives me chills.
Oh, and speaking of chills, Tiffany, I heard you had some absolutely putrid encounters on your field trip. Tell us about them. Was it ghastly?
Oh, Merriweather, I cannot begin to describe how horrible it was. These people lived in filth and squalor.
No.
Everywhere they went, they left a smell.
Oh. Well, tell me, Tiffany, were you in some little third world nation or something horrible?
Oh, no, Merriweather, something far worse than some unwashed backwash.
Oh.
Not only were these people dirty, their entire social structure was based on conspiracy and theft.
Well, we'll be right back to hear a little bit more of Tiffany's delving into the disgusting lifestyles. But first, we're going to poke our noses into the home of Mr. Waldo Fulton. Hello there, Merriweather Cheesebottom here, sneaking into the home of Mr. Waldo Fulton. Unbeknownst to him, of course, because we're searching for lifestyles of the miserable and downtrodden. Watch this. Oh, Mr. Fulton. Mr. Fulton, wake up. You're on TV, Mr. Fulton. Mr. Fulton. Waldo. Waldo. Get up, you lousy bum!
I ain't bother nobody! I ain't bother nobody!
It's okay, Mr. Fulton. We're here to interview you for TV. Take a look right there.
I ain't got no TV!
But on the contrary, Mr. Fulton, I see bits and pieces of television sets all over your
I ain't bother nobody!
apartment. Mr. Fulton, tell us a little bit about yourself. Your decor is, unusual. What about this table?
French!
That you're saying that is neoclassical French provincial?
No! Gotta have a dumpster on French Street!
I see, French Street. And where exactly do you get the rest of your, charming, household decorations?
It's, Holland. It's, 12th and Myrtle.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know. Some of it was here when I got here.
I see, and Mr. Fulton, for our viewers, exactly what is it that you do for a living?
What? I'm doing it.
You're doing what?
It's what I do.
You're just sitting there in your own filth.
What do you do?
Well, I'm an interviewer on television.
They pay you for that?
Well, yes, quite handsomely.
Well, how about give me a couple bucks?
How about you kissing my... Oh, excuse me, I just a moment now. That'll be all there, I think.
Get away! Get away! I'm bothering you! Try to sleep! Go away! Get out of here! Get out of here! Get out! Out of here!
And there you have it, folks. Once again, a scoop by Lifestyles of the Miserable and Downtrodden.
Get out!
Tiffany, darling, you've kept myself and our viewers on tenterhooks long enough. Dear, you must tell us, where were you on your excursion?
Well, you know me, Merriweather. I was out in a search for the most despicable lifestyle imaginable. I closed my eyes and just tried to imagine myself in this horrible place, and when I opened my eyes, I was there.
And where was that, dear? Where? Tell us.
Washington, D.C.
Oh.
These politicians, it's absolutely despicable. And I just thought to myself, I'm so glad we don't have to live like that.
Isn't it lovely? But before we go into that next week, Tiffany has a lovely bit of footage about her and some boys she knows.
And here we are examining some lifestyles of some truly miserable and downtrodden people. I'm here today with members of the Pittsburgh Pirates baseball team. Good evening, gentlemen.
How you doing?
Hi. Hi.
Fine.
Hi.
Manuel. It's okay. It's okay, Manuel.
I know, of course, that many people enjoy athletics as a form of relaxation. Not being an athletic supporter myself, I was just curious as to what you gentlemen did for entertainment.
Well, we watch TV.
Yeah.
We're watching the playoffs.
Playoff.
Ah, I see.
Ooh. We order a lot of food. Manuel's got a list of caterers, don't you, Manuel?
Yeah. Could you call
call. No, we called
Man,
Dave.
okay.
He's not home.
We'll call him. We'll call him.
We'll call him later.
Eating, yes. I've been forced to visit Pittsburgh several times myself in the last few years, and I know Pittsburgh have several fine restaurants. Do you have a favorite?
Favorite restaurant?
Yes.
Favorite restaurant? Jeez, I don't remember.
I'd have to say Denny's.
Denny's, yeah, they're open.
They're open 24 hours. You know?
Yes, with your busy lifestyles, I'm sure it
Great coffee.
becomes necessary to eat at all times of day.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Listen, you
I got
know,
a cold. Bad cold.
Is he all right? Would he like something to drink? Meriwether, would you bring me that Coke?
Coke.
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 Good Coke. Coke.
Bring it, Coke is my middle name, you know.
Coke.
Thank you so much.
Oh.
There you go, boys. Enjoy yourself, eh?
No thanks, man. No thanks.
I drink RC, man. No, man, it's pop. It's soda.
It's soda.
Soda, burn.
Manuel, soda. We'll make a call in a few minutes.
Do join us next week for Lifestyles of the Miserable and Downtrodden when we join the Pittsburgh Pirates in their winter training camp in Peru.
Maybe.
Could we call Dave now?
Yeah. Listen. Next week, do a thing on our caterer. He's in prison now.
Yeah.
She was a brainless, buxom bimbo with a body that could stop a Sherman tank. He was a mindless hunk who wrecked 8 cars per episode. Together they are the TNA team. Only on IAS.
We now join the Reverend Terry Jalwell, the self-appointed head of the moral bigotry, as he sits in his office contemplating the next letter he will write to every American, whether they want to read it or not.
Dear members of the moral bigotry, I'm writing you this letter with deepest regrets. It seems that we have run out of money to stave off those pornographers and Democrats.
Terry!
The Learjet bill is outstanding, and the resort mortgage is due.
Terry!
Who's that? Who's that calling me? Who dare has the audacity to call me by my first name?
Terry, it is God.
God? How the hell are you? I haven't talked to you in 20 years.
I know. That's why I'm calling on you. You haven't called on me.
Well, nothing personal, God, but I'm doing okay, and I really don't need your help at all.
That's true, you don't. But you are misleading the people of America. I want you to apologize to the people of South Africa.
Apologize? No way! Okay.
Good. And I want you to apologize to the Reverend Jesse Jackson.
The Reverend Jesse Jackson? That fake? No way! Phone call or personal letter?
Neither. On national TV.
On national TV? I mean, that's impossible! Which network?
NBC. I like Jane Pauley.
Okay, I'll get to it next week sometime. Wait, okay. I'll do it tomorrow, alright?
Very good.
Okay. Anything else, God?
One more thing. You know how it says that the Jews are my chosen people?
Well, sure, I've heard that, yeah.
Well, would you tell them that if they don't quit screwing around, I'm going to choose someone else?
We interrupt this program for a serious news update. Now to our correspondent, Sinclair Buckingham.
This story just received in the In All Seriousness newsroom. The Little Toot, jewel of Lake Erie, has been hijacked. According to reports, Tony Ruggieri and 3 tourists from Cleveland are now being held hostage aboard the Little Toot. The Mario Bagnoni Liberation Front, a splinter group of the Front to Liberate Mario Bagnoni, has claimed responsibility for the hijacking. It is not known how many terrorists are on board the Little Toot or what their demands are at this time. Again, as we have it, the Little Toot has been hijacked. Stay tuned to In All Seriousness News. We'll soon have a reporter on the scene to bring you further developments. We now return you to our normal programming.
This has been a serious news update. Stay tuned for further developments.
I love that bear, but enough is enough.
The power, the passion, the heat, the revenge, the spin-off, the Burning Bear, only on IAS, Sundays at 1 a.m.
New Tuesday nights this fall on IAS. The gripping saga about the first black to infiltrate the KKK.
Well, I ain't gonna be part of no clan if we're gonna let one of them in, that's for sure.
Well, neither am I. No way,
There's no way we're gonna let one of them.
Oh my God.
Watch the gripping tales as he kicks prejudiced neo-Nazi booty and forces the Imperial Grand Wizard to marry his daughter to the Philadelphia 76ers. Be sure to watch Sambo First Blood, Tuesdays on IAS.
And yes, you guessed it. This is yet another news update from the Sirius Broadcasting Room. We take you now directly to Sinclair Buckingham.
This is Sinclair Buckingham at the IAS News headquarters located in the charred remains of Pal Joey's. We'll now take you to the bay side of Lake Erie with our Sirius correspondent, Miss Jane Dolly. Jane?
Thank you, Sinclair. This is Jane Dolly at Bernie's Baits stand at the bayfront. What? Well, you told me to get right down here and I couldn't get a sitter. This is the situation as it now stands. The terrorists, comprised of disgruntled ex-police and sanitation employees, are holding the Little Toot, skipper Tony Ruggieri, and 3 tourists from Buffalo hostage, and have demanded that Mayor Tullio abdicate and Mario Bagnoni be installed as mayor, and the hostages would be shot on sight. The mayor immediately replied, "You've got to be kidding," and started to inform the hostages' next of kin. Undaunted, the terrorists, in a show of force, clipped a lock of hair from the hostages and savagely dumped it into the bay. After a lot of screaming in Italian, they have revised their demands, which are that the traffic flow around Perry Square be re-reversed, or the hostages would be forced to swim in the Hammermill sewage disposal duct. City engineer Wasinder Mocha has just concluded negotiations with the terrorists, and we have him now on remote audio hookup. Mr. Mocha.
Yes.
How are the negotiations going with the terrorists?
They're going really good, and I think we'll be able to rectify this situation.
Very good. And that's how we have it as of now. Back to our regular programming.
How you doing out there, folks? I'm a manly, outdoor, natural kind of guy. But even the most manly, outdoor, and natural kinds of guys can get into trouble with red, rough, raw, itching, irritated gonads. That's right, I said gonads. Sometimes it gets so bad you just can't help it. Scratch yourself in public. Well, I know you're sitting out there wondering to yourself, is there any kind of product out there for guys that can keep them from itching their privates in public? Well, folks, now Massengill's done come up with a brand new product. Of course, I'm talking about new Testes Masculine Hygiene Foam. That's right, folks, new Testes. Fortified with NP40, whatever that is, comes out in a soothing foam. Feels so good when applied, and it's not messy like them powders and shampoos. Just try a little bit. Oh, God. And watch that itch go, go, go. Now, folks, new on your grocery stores everywhere across America. New Testes. This is Sinclair Buckingham with yet another news update. Take it away, Sinclair!
It's been a long night at the IAS studios, and here is the final saga of this terrible, terrible tragedy of the hijacking of the Little Toot. This is the way the story ended, and it was just tearful. President Reagan authorized 4 F-14 Tomcat fighters to leave their base on a Coast Guard cutter in Lake Ontario. They flew into Misery Bay on Lake Erie, lowered steel cable and hooked on to the poor ship, lifted the vessel out of the water and transported it to the Erie International Airport, where they laid it on the ground. So this is where we have it. The Little Toot is on the ground at the Erie International Airport. The passengers, the hostages, the terrorists, the water, some dead fish, some sea squirrels are all on board, and now the airport authority led by Lou Perico will not release anybody or anything to local authorities since the Little Toot is now on airport land. That is correct. And if they think they're going to see any revenue from oil wells, ha! And so, we take this now to City Council, where in the future we will see if this is ever rectified. But the gripping saga continues. Thank you for joining us on In All Seriousness News from the Charred Remains at Pal Joey's. We now return you to local programming. Me, I think I'm going to go get some cold sushi.
This has been another incredibly long news update from the Serious News.
1, 2, a 1, 2, 3. You load 16 jokes. And what do you get? You get another day older and deeper in debt. Johnny Carson, don't you call me with offers of loot. I owe my soul to the comedy true. The comedy true. Comedy.
You know my name is John Stockhausen. I spend my time going out carousing. My mom said, go be a doctor, my son. But I broke her heart being a comedian.
I told 16 jokes, and what did I get? I got another day older and deeper in debt. Johnny Carson, don't you call me with offers of loot. I owe my soul to the comedy true. Comedy true. Comedy.
You know my face, my name is Jane.
Comedy.
I ain't too smart and I'm awful plain.
Comedy.
When I get tired of playing guitar, I dress up like a man and I cruise the bars.
I told 16 jokes. Hey, what did you get? You got another day older and deeper in debt. Johnny Carson, don't you call me with offers of loot. I owe my soul to the comedy true. Comedy true. Comedy.
My name is Mark, and a long time ago, I told some jokes at the Comedy Hole. I thought my jokes just couldn't fail. I bombed so bad they threw me into jail.
I told 16 jokes, and what did he get? He got another day older and deeper in debt. Johnny Carson, don't you call me with offers of loot. I soul to the comedy true. Comedy true. Comedy true.
Monica Williams is my name.
Comedy true.
I ain't ashamed. When the bills come around, I don't make no bones. I pay them all off with my student loans.
She told 16 jokes, and what did she get? I got another day older and deeper in debt. Johnny Carson, don't you call me with offers of loot. I owe my soul to the comedy true. Comedy true. Comedy.
My brain is full of funny things to say. Comedy. My name is Rich Trisbiak, by the way. Comedy. I do funny characters and a little shtick. Comedy. My jokes are guaranteed to make you sick.
He told 16 jokes. Yeah. And what did he get? He got another day older and deeper in debt. Johnny Carson, don't you call me with offers of loot. I owe my soul to the comedy true. Comedy true. Comedy true.
Some people call me, my name is James. You can call me psycho, you can call me insane. Hey, what did you say, man? Are you on lewds? The only thing you gotta call me is a crazy dude. I
told 16 jokes. And what did he get? He got another day older and deeper in debt. Johnny Carson, don't you call me with offers of loot. I owe my soul to the comedy true. Comedy true. Comedy.
Name is Mike, that's for sure. Every knows I get up the burrs. I tell funny jokes, I always lie. And that's why I never get a piece of the pie.
'Cause he told 16 jokes. What did he get? He got another day older and deeper in debt. Johnny Carson, don't you call me with offers of loot. 'Cause I owe my soul to the comedy true.
One more time.
I told 16 jokes. What did I get? He got another day older and deeper in debt. Johnny Carson, don't you call me with offers of loot. I owe my soul to the comedy true. Comedy true. Comedy true.